Forgiveness. What does it mean? I thought I knew until the summer of 2002. I heard a minister ask a simple question. What can you do when you can't forgive yourself? He asked the question that I asked myself thousands of times. Then he told a simple story. He said that he and a friend used to work out at the local gym 4 days a week. His friend had a Rolex watch. He had always wanted a Rolex watch, but he couldn't afford one. One morning, his friend rushed off to a meeting and left the Rolex watch on a bench in the locker room. He seized that moment to take it. A short time later, his bag was stolen out of his car and the watch was in it. So years later, as he began his spiritual walk through life, he was embarrassed by what he had done. So he went to his friend, confessed, and asked forgiveness and told him he would buy him a new Rolex watch. His friend told him that wasn't important. It wasn't any watch. He said it was his father's watch. In fact, his father gave him the watch the morning that he passed away. He was trapped. The only way to make it right was to go back to that morning and not take the watch. But that was impossible to do. So it was impossible for him to forgive himself. He had told my story. I'd wished a million times I could have gone back to that afternoon and said, yes, sir, and no, sir. I, too, was trapped. But then he gave a simple answer, a simple answer. He said that you can forgive yourself because God has forgiven you. If God, the creator of all things, can forgive you, why can't you forgive yourself? Are you greater than God, yet you can't do for yourself what God has already done? How dare you insult God? Let it go. And in that moment, I felt a little shame. Yet I felt a joy that I had never felt before, a peace that you would not believe. I thought I'd experienced peace in 1984 when I forgave Bill for killing Daddy. That was a magnificent moment. When I said the word, I forgive Bill, it was as if I had been instantly moved from one planet to another planet. I couldn't feel anything against Bill. No anger, no hatred, pain, nothing. It was like Bill didn't exist anymore. When I thought about the feeling I had, the high that I had, man has never made a drug to make a person that high. So I tried to get back in state to see if this thing was real. I was like, come on, Bill. Let's fight, baby. We've been fighting for 22 years. Come on, let's fight. Come on, get up. Come on, Bill. Let's go. Where are you? Come on. There was nothing there. Bill could have walked through that front door. I wouldn't have gotten upset. Probably would have just invited him in and offered him a cup of coffee. As great as that moment was, it was not as great as the moment when I forgave myself. And in my moment of joy and happiness, I began to question God. Why didn't you send that minister to me before now? Why did you send him this late? Why didn't you send him 5 years after Daddy got killed, 10 years after Daddy got, 15? Why did you make me wait for 40 years? When the answer was simple, self-forgiveness. And then the number 40 began to ring in my head. Oh, it rained for 40 days and 40 nights. They were lost in the wilderness for 40 years. Why not 40 years for me to forgive myself? Maybe I gained something in those 40 years that I'm unaware of. Maybe some knowledge, wisdom. Maybe that minister showed up when he was supposed to.